Oh, man. Well, good evening and welcome to the third edition of the Crimson Tide Live call-in show from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and my partner in crime, Only Talk Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports, where we are trying to stay where we are staying sane, or at least we're trying to, if we will, in Tuscaloosa. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a wild ride.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to stay sane with what's going on with this Alabama season. And I think that some Bama fans are overreacting a bit, on how outraged they are toward the season. But at the same time, it's a far cry from Saban. I mean, Saban's standard was so elite. It was so great that to match that is almost impossible. And I think most people know that, Jackson. I really do. I honestly believe that most people understand that, without Saban, that there was going to be a step back. There was no way that this team was going to be able to be anywhere near as good as they were under Nick Saban. But it's still just jarring to see Alabama football be human and struggle and lose to teams that they haven't lost to in 40 years in the case of Vanderbilt, and now losing to Tennessee the second straight time on the road. And this is an inferior Tennessee team to that team they lost to in Knoxville a couple years ago. It's just jarring to see. And even for us, too, that we always stayed level-headed when it came to Bama, never got too high, took it for granted. It's still jarring. It is still just a little bit frustrating to see, especially when you felt like Kalen DeBoer, what he did at Washington last year, with more talent at Bama. He's going to do great. I don't think he's doing bad, but he definitely just doesn't have the locker room like Saban had it. And the attention to detail, the discipline, it's just not there. And if the players can't get that back, then I'm not saying there's going to be really tough times in Tuscaloosa, but we could end up seeing a couple more losses this year that we did not want to see.
Oh, yeah. And it does look like Alabama is going to have an easy time for right now with Missouri. But although anything can happen in the crazy world of college football, we've seen, especially against like Vanderbilt, for example, that's not an easy gimme win. Don't ever think of your games like it's an easy gimme win, because when you do, it bites you in the rear big time.
I think the thing with Missouri on why Alabama's favored by 16.5, because I saw when you and Austin did the show the last night on the Picks and Analysis show. Great show, by the way. But I was cracking up with Austin. He was like, oh, how is Alabama favored by 16.5? That's steep. Well, Brady Cook being out, it seems like he's going to be out. And the running back, Noel, for Missouri being out for sure. And the fact it's at Alabama, I guess that's why. Plus, Missouri has not looked all that good this season in a lot of big key games. Obviously, I will say that them barely beating Vanderbilt, yeah, that looks better now that Vanderbilt's playing better and Alabama lost to them. But still, this game's at Alabama. I understand why Alabama's favored by as much as they are. Even me, though, I probably would say probably put it around 10 to 12, point favorite instead of 16.5. But the spread doesn't matter. The spread does not matter. I mean, did we just see Kennesaw State beat Liberty? Yes, we did. The spread don't matter. You go out and win the game. If you're Missouri and you're better than Bama, just beat them, or whatever. Or in Bama's case, the doubters, they're saying Bama is horrible right now. Just beat Missouri. It doesn't matter how much you're favored by. Oh, that's, superfluous. It doesn't matter. You just have to go out there and do your job and win no matter what. So, yeah, I mean, I think the spread doesn't matter in this case.
True. But here's a little something positive we can give everybody for sure. You can come on in and become a YouTube member at Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And we got some amazing tiers. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member for $2.99. For $4.99 a month, you can become a Saber Disciple, where you can get member shoutouts, priority replies to comments, and access to a monthly hangout. And finally, you can become a Bear Bryant Legend at $9.99 a month, where you can connect on social media with us at Alabama Voice College Football and give out content requests. That you can give out literally any kind of request. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, if you want us to see if we can go get like Joe Namath, we'll see if we can get him. We're not gonna let bad weather stop us. If you want us to go get if you want us to do like some like any kind of event, like if you want us to do like a watch party or something like that, we can fill out that request quick, fast, in a hurry. No worries there. But it won't be on. But the watch party won't be on air. It'll be like a hangout session, and then we give you the post game coverage afterwards.
Absolutely. You definitely do not want to miss being a member at Alabama at the Voice of College Football. We got a lot of cool stuff coming. Me and Jackson and Johnny Burks, a lot of cool stuff coming. And like Jackson said, content requests. If you get the tier that allows that, having content requests, whatever you would like to see, definitely we'll try to be able to fulfill that, and definitely would appreciate it. Help the channel as well. But definitely just appreciate you guys for being here. And if you're enjoying the show so far, subscribe down below because trying to get to 2,500 and beyond. But definitely appreciate you guys for being here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what you want to do. You want to come on in and become a YouTube member right here, man. And we're 63 subs away from that magic number, 2,500 subs. And I can tell you right now, we're gonna need all the help we can get. And we invite you to become a YouTube member at the channel.
And if you want to call into the show, you got the StreamYard link right here as well. We'll be taking your calls for the next at least hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. Depends on how many callers we get, how engaged the show is. But again, definitely appreciate your participation. And there is the call-in link if you guys want to call in. But we do have a caller, though. If you're ready to introduce him, Jackson.
Absolutely.
We got a familiar caller on the first couple call-in shows at Alabama at the Voice of College Football, and he is back again for the third straight show. Appreciate you for coming on, Caden.
Good evening, gentlemen. Jeffrey and Jackson, how are we doing today, gentlemen?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing tonight, Caden?
Oh, man, my evening has been going really well. Yesterday was my 21st birthday.
Cool.
I was gonna say thanks for the birthday wishes, gentlemen. I was gonna see that was coming. Enough of me. Enough of my shenanigans and stuff and stupidness. This is a college football college show, like for doggone sake. This is where we can talk.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey, Jackson, I know this is one of the years of Alabama college football that people never wanted to have, or that was just unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. It's the years of that. It's the years of those days.
Oh, it's 2007 2.0.
It feels exactly like 2007. I was a toddler for that year. Don't remember much of it in person, but I've seen all the craziness that happened in 2007 on YouTube and just people talking about it in the past. And it definitely seems like 2024 is kind of a repeat. Now, I do like it in some regards. We got Indiana playing great. That's a great story, but it's tough to see Alabama and some of these other teams, especially Bama, struggling.
But
there's plenty of similarities because, like, for example, Notre Dame was 3-9 in 2007, a year after they played in the Sugar Bowl. Florida State right now is 1-6, and they're looking like they could go 2-10, 3-9.
Florida State's more embarrassing than that Notre Dame switcheroo. I mean, that's 10-3 to 3-9. Florida State went from undefeated, not counting the Georgia game, to this. This is way worse. This is way more embarrassing. Definitely a similarity, but this is unprecedented how bad FSU has been. They've quit. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I mean they're out doing God knows what, and honestly, Mike Norvell just needs to slam that locker room door and just let out some F-bombs. It looks like he never has it. He never lets out any F-bombs. He needs to start laying out some.
Maybe
and I completely agree with that. But let me bring up another point, and I know Alabama fans don't like this team that I'm going to mention in the next minute, but this is necessary.
Okay.
I know everybody on this show hates Georgia. Georgia, I know that name just hurts the ears as much as if a poisonous snake bit you in the neck. It's a painful feeling. Did Georgia now just become the SEC's most violent and most dominant team in the SEC at this point? Because it seems like after they whooped Texas, now they're the top of the food chain.
I mean, right now, obviously, they're ranked number 2, and they have taken the top dog spot again in the SEC. But I mean, the thing is, if they had beaten Alabama, then they would be legitimately number 1, and they could say, "Hey, we're better than everybody by far." But they still lost to Alabama. So, but I mean, I would say beating Texas and where they're at right now, yeah, they're at the top, but it's not by a substantial amount or anything.
And that's a good point there too, Jeffrey. But my thing is, Alabama is the team that Georgia's coming back for blood for. Mm-hmm. They're coming for Alabama's head in the SEC title game, and there's no undisputed fact about that. Absolute zip. Mm-hmm. They're coming for Alabama's head, and they're coming for blood. I can just smell it in the air, like if I was in Athens at this moment.
That's true. I mean, I definitely think that Georgia wants to become the new dynasty. They want to take over the SEC, and they want to defeat Alabama once and for all off their pedestal. I mean, I think Alabama's kind of knocked themselves off the pedestal this season right now. I mean, because they beat Georgia. Like, they had everything going for them to be the best team in the SEC along with Texas, and then they just completely blew it. Against Vanderbilt. So, and now they've lost 2 games. They lost to Tennessee. So, I mean, Alabama still owns Georgia because they've destroyed them, in the rivalry the last 10 years, record-wise. But Georgia is scratching and clawing, and they're trying to take the SEC stranglehold and be the best team. But they haven't completely done it yet. But, I mean, I would say with Alabama, self-destructing, and Texas folding against Georgia, I mean, they're there. I mean, but Alabama might not even make the SEC title game. I mean, that's the problem for Alabama. They might not even make the title game. Texas would have to lose again. I mean, it would be a lot of scenarios.
We need Vanderbilt to lose this Saturday.
Vanderbilt's gonna lose again, Jackson. They're gonna lose again.
Oh,
I'd be shocked if they won out. Trust me, I'd be shocked. I'm not worried about Vandy.
No, but this is my point, gentlemen. Like, Georgia is going to take the SEC by the throat, and they're pretty much going to say Alabama's nothing. We're the only team in here that only had 1 loss and takes it by the throat. Now, I get that, and I get Alabama fans do not like that team that just continuously. And I've said this for 3 weeks straight on this show. I said it week after week after week that Georgia is the team that's going to continuously ragdoll the SEC, and there's pretty much not going to be anyone left to stand up to them off of their ground. Nobody. I've continuously preseason, I said that. The Clemson game, I said that. Was I not wrong? I lost to Bama, but still, look at the stats of Georgia.
I mean, the thing with Georgia, they've had their moments of being vulnerable, other than Bama beating them, and because they barely beat Kentucky, and Kentucky's awful. They're not very good, and they barely beat them. And then they struggle with Mississippi State, who's also awful. So, I mean, they are a vulnerable team. They can be beat. I mean, if Tennessee can get their act together, they could beat them later in the year. But Tennessee's been playing not that well. So, all I'll say is Georgia, they're getting there. I mean, they're very close to taking the SECs, by control. They're close to doing it, but they haven't done it yet. I mean, if they had to beat Bama this year, then they'd have it this season anyway, and maybe in the future. And I mean, they're recruiting like crazy. They're doing great, but they did not beat Bama. And they still have not dominated in every game they've played, even against mediocre teams they've struggled with. So they're still vulnerable. They're still beatable. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I get it. I mean, they are doing everything they can to take the SEC. And yeah, they don't like Alabama, and Bama doesn't like Georgia. I mean, honestly, they're bigger rivals these days than Auburn, Georgia. I know people say, oh, that's the deep South old rivalry. Well, Alabama and Georgia's a bigger rivalry. It just doesn't have a name. But Georgia hasn't completely taken the SEC yet. Not yet. They're close, but not yet.
But let me point the other thing. The Texas game was the message that Georgia was sending after they just destroyed Texas. First half opened up Texas, and it seemed like Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning couldn't do a doggone thing against Georgia's defense. They literally just fell knees to the ground to Georgia, and now they just got feasted on by the dogs from Georgia. And now Texas can't stand Georgia. It's like Texas took their bullhorns and slapped Georgia right across the face. But when you slap that beast across the face, they say, that beast can awaken and it can make a person really, really, really unsettled. And that can really make someone hurt.
You know what's worse for Texas on who witnessed that beating in person? Matthew McConaughey witnessed it in person, and Joe Rogan is probably getting Jamie some clips out, just being like, oh man, what was it, this Georgia Texas game? Oh yeah, I went there. I was in Austin. Jamie, can you pull that up? Jamie. Like, I know that's a conversation happening for sure.
See, this comment by Bama fans saying, 4 titles, Georgia, 18, Bama. Georgia will never catch Bama. Yeah, when you're talking about historically, nobody's going to pass Bama for, ever. I mean, it's going to take 100 years to do that. You know what I'm saying? If it's even possible. And that would be if Bama never won again. But it would take forever. But we're talking about right now. Yeah, as of right now, Georgia can pass Bama, any team could be passed in the present, but historically, no. That's like saying Purdue in basketball is better than Indiana basketball. Yeah, they are right now, but Indiana basketball historically has been better than Purdue and is still better than Purdue. That's why they're the national brand. Purdue isn't, but today Purdue's better. So yeah, Georgia can become better than Bama right now, since Bama might be on the decline, but historically, Bama's got Georgia so far and away that no, they're not going to catch them. So, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sorry for bringing up UGA at this point, but I had to because I've been literally been messaged about this by my friend who's a University of Georgia fan, and he knows who he is, and I'm not going to say his name. Now, I'm not going to call him what I normally call fans that are really dumb, but I'm just going to say this. Georgia is the hall of pain of the SEC. You wake up, and I was going to say this, just as simple as I said it. Georgia is the hall of pain of the SEC. You try to step up, you're getting put down. That's Georgia's structure. That's Kirby Smart's structure in that defense. That defense has lived by that structure for the last 3 years. Put someone down and leave them dead. They want teams dead, lying in giant piles of bodies. And I'm telling you, Georgia is putting teams in piles of bodies. Like, can you imagine how high that stack is about this point? Because I'm betting it's probably pretty high at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, they're definitely hungry to run through the rest of the SEC. I agree with Bama fan as well. It's going to be tough for any team to have a dynasty in this new NIL college ball era. I agree. I mean, because originally I thought, well, hey, once Saban's gone, Kirby might have that dynasty, maybe win 5, 6, 7 championships like Saban. We'll see. He could still do it, But it's different now with a 12-team playoff and a lot of other teams catching up with NIL and getting really good players as well. It's going to be harder to do that. I mean, Saban, I feel like that's a big reason he retired. I really do. I feel like he could have gone for a couple more years, but he didn't because it's a changing landscape. It's tough to consistently compete to be number one when you've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 other programs that are right there and even Steven with you, and now they can compete in a level playing field of NIL. Now, NIL as in of itself is not a level playing field, but for those programs, and we all know who they are, yeah, it's a level playing field. It doesn't give Georgia and Alabama that significant advantage. So Kirby could still do that, maybe, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for him than for Saban, and I wouldn't be shocked if Georgia doesn't become a consistent dynasty because of it.
And I'll just say this, Jackson and Jeffrey, and I'm probably betting you boys are probably tired of me yapping about the team that people hate the most in the SEC at this point. Just trying to make that clear point obvious. But I'm going to say this, honestly, as a Buckeye fan, and I don't mean to brag, and Bama fan, just don't quote me on bragging. This is not a bragging point. This is my factual point. The only team that has hung with Georgia for 60 minutes, and this is the closest they've came to upsetting a team that has had just the amount of victims on their list. Straight after victims after victim. Ohio State is the only team that can hang with UGA. That was proven in the Peach Bowl 2 years ago.
Alabama's the only team that can beat Georgia right now. So I agree.
Jeffrey,
it's Bama and it's Ohio State. Nobody else. Ohio State getting close to beating them. Bama can beat them, but nobody else.
But I'm saying physicality-wise on defense, you got to look at the statistical points of Ohio State's defense. Fewest points allowed in the Big Ten. Fewest touchdowns allowed. Fewest, yards per game allowed. Georgia's on the same board of account right now. Now, Caleb DeBoer, he's got work to do to fill Saban's shoes. But right now, Ohio State is the only, and I'm saying this I'm saying this with all due respect to Alabama fans, but we are the only team right now that is physically capable, that is on the level of Georgia's, that can hang with them and beat them at this point. I get y'all beat them, but come on, man. You got to understand, they will come back like a hungry animal, and they will start stomping people consistently left and right with that defense. Because Kirby Smart will tell that defense within a finger of his snap to say, hey, crush them. And they'll crush them. They did it to Tennessee, to Florida, to Clemson. They did it to every single buddy on their schedule. They did it to Bama 3 years ago. So there's that consistency.
This season was Mississippi State. They were horrible against Mississippi State. They gave up 31 to them, and they're a terrible team. Other than that, Georgia's defense is fantastic, but at times they can still give up points. It's a lot of its effort. I feel like a lot of these teams these days in the social media era that we live in, players can get distracted, and the intensity is not always there. And, they can overlook opponents for the next game because, like I said, Georgia should have lost to Kentucky, and they played like garbage against Mississippi State. They're still in a fantastic team, but before that Texas game, nobody was picking them to win outside like a couple people. A lot of people were like, Georgia's not all that great. And now that they beat Texas, everybody's back on the bandwagon. I think Georgia's fantastic, and I think Texas is really good. I think Ohio State's really good, but all these teams are beatable. Oregon beat Ohio State by a play. So all these teams are very close. Bama's fallen off because they quit playing. They quit trying for whatever reason. And DeBoer's not Saban to get him back on track. He can't do it right now. He does not have the locker room because Alabama is talented enough to be still in that conversation. They beat Georgia. You can't beat Georgia unless you're that good. But Bama's fallen off because the effort's gone. They don't have the coach that can get the players to be like, hey, it doesn't matter. This is Vanderbilt. Don't take the rat poison. That they lost because they didn't try hard enough. And Georgia almost did that against Kentucky. Conversation would be completely different if they lose to Kentucky. So I agree with you, Kane. You're absolutely right with Georgia, but it's not like they're really any different than any of these other teams. They're beatable. It's effort, and I think Kirby is just better at getting his players to consistently play hard than DeBoer is. Saban and Kirby were the only two coaches that can do that. In this modern day college football, players, they do not give same effort every single game. It is tough to do so. They get distracted. They look at ahead. They look at the bigger picture instead of the game right in front of them. It happens all the time. We see that with teams all the time. That's why upsets happen. So I agree with you, but Georgia is still beatable.
And I can agree with you, Jeffrey, that Georgia's still beatable. But my thing is, when I studied Georgia. They overlook every single schedule like it's just another easy meal. You see what I mean?
Mm.
They overlook every single game because all in their locker room it quotes. And I feel like that this is the mentality of Georgia, is to come in, beat them to death, and then leave them. Beat to death and leave. That's simple as that. That is the simplest point that they're leading it at. Beat this team to death and leave them dead. That's their motto. That's their trait. They overlook the regular season because they say we're going into this season, we're going to crush someone, and someone's head is going to be on a stake to be hung. But they're going to only look at the teams that they really got to put on point. Ohio State is one of those teams. Alabama, I mean, your point is, like, my point is correct and your point is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, OSU is the only team they're looking at as a huge problem, as the only team that I'm just respectfully saying that has that physicality, that have that mindset, that have that just ferocity on defense, the physicality on defense, just the hungriness of the team. I don't, and like I said, Jeffrey, no disrespect to Alabama and the Crimson Tide, but right now, Caleb DeBoer has to get his team situated enough so they can be really, really prepared for Georgia again. Because if they go, I know they play them in Athens next year. So I'm just gonna say now, you better be prepared because Georgia could come up way angrier, way more. And I'm not going to say any more profanity on this show, but the profanity I'm going to say about Georgia's defense is the words that I'm really going to tell people. If you watch Mark Henry in WWE, between the rivalry of him and the 7-foot, 320-pound monster known as Kane, the brother of The Undertaker, handily beating each other to death, putting through tables, chairs, beating each other with chairs, injuring each other's ankles, someone rising from the dead. Like, seriously, that is, that's Ohio State and Georgia. These are two Goliaths. These are two huge, these are monsters from the living time, from the giants of college football. These are just the most physical, violent, but also just the most terrifying teams on their schedule. Georgia is the Hall of Fame of the SEC. Anyone that goes through them is going to get hurt. Is either two ways: leaving that game with a loss without a scratch, or they're leaving Athens with a huge loss of blood and a huge, huge beating handed to them, and they're having to leave on stretchers. And I feel sorry for Clemson. They left on stretchers that night. I literally watched that game, and Kayla and Kay Klubnik and all of them were taken on stretchers after that game in Atlanta. Oregon, last year, let me say this, Oregon, Bo Nix left on a stretcher. And I'm not kidding. He left on a stretcher after that game. After a serious, serious whipping. So I'm concerned for you guys because Georgia could come back and they could literally put people on stretchers at this point. Stretchers. You see what I mean?
I don't disagree. I mean, I think that when a team is very talented and they have a great coach they're focused, they can take any team out. Absolutely. We saw it with Saban, Alabama. They could do that. Kirby now with Georgia. And there's not many teams that can do that. I think Ohio State has the potential as well. But, yeah, I mean, I think Georgia's ready to take over the SEC the rest of the season. And if they stay focused, they can do it. But we'll see what they do against Tennessee, some of the other tough teams that they got down the stretch, see if they can win the SEC title. But I think that when they're at their best, yeah, I agree that, when they blew out Clemson and beat Texas, yeah, they can
beat Oregon. Let's not forget that one. Like I said, Bo Nix and them left on stretchers. You know those human body stretchers? They left on damn stretchers after that game because it was that physically brutal from that Georgia defense.
Yeah,
and
Oregon
I'm sorry to say that.
Shot because of the fact it was Dan Lanning's first game as head coach, and they knew everything Oregon was going to do because he was the coordinator there. So yeah, that was a mess. I mean, if they played right now, they wouldn't get destroyed. But like that. But I mean, it was a week 1 game too. I mean, everything went Georgia's way there. Even like Georgia Clemson, I think if they played right now, it'd be a little closer. But yeah, I mean, week 1 games are so unpredictable, and the team that's more prepared and ready is going to win. And Georgia, like you said, when they're focused and hungry to prove to people that they are great, then they can blow out teams. It's just they can't always do it, though. They can't always do it. Like I said, that's why they barely beat Kentucky. But when they're focused, I agree with you, Caden. They are dangerous. They are really good.
Sure.
But if injuries didn't hold them back, this is a team that I'm telling people, and I'm sorry to say this to Crimson Tide Nation, but this is a team that is going to continuously, after this year, they're going to continuously be lethal in the SEC to limbs and bone, and pretty much no one's going to be able to stand on 2 feet to handle Georgia. Not on a chance in hell are they going to stand up to Georgia. I'm just saying this straight fact, honest, no crap. And I'm sorry I'm taking this long for, the nice Bama fans to call in, but I'm just being straightforward, honest, no crap, no bull crap, because that's all I say. I'm not talking with bull crap, I'm talking with honesty. And my honesty is telling you guys that I'm sorry, but this is the era that Georgia takes it by the throat, and they will take Alabama by the throat for the next 4 years and beat them just to the straight core of crap. And I'm sorry to say that.
So before you go, because we got another caller on the line, what's your prediction for Alabama, Missouri this Saturday?
It's going to be close, but I feel like, honestly, it could go either way. But as far as Georgia, Tennessee goes, Georgia's pretty much going to just ragdoll them. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry for the Tennessee fans, but Georgia's going into that game and they're beating the crap out of them. And I don't see Tennessee leaving that game unscathed. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to bear the bad news to Alabama Crimson Tide fans. And I'm sorry I looked at the chat in the comments. I'm sorry. But I was just being straightforward and just being straight up honest, fellas. So I'm sorry. But, hey, good luck to y'all. But I'm sorry that this is just the era that I'm honestly going to say Georgia rules the SEC, and they will own the SEC for the next couple of years, and they will. I'm being honest with you, Jackson and Jeffrey. Now, don't quote me, but I'm saying prayers for Alabama because it's going to be rough against Georgia for the next couple of years. Because, like I said, there's only one team for the next couple of years that will be able to hang with UGA, and that's OSU. And I'm sorry and I don't mean this to brag, but this is not the Saban era. This is the era of the 2 biggest dogs in college football that they need to square off, and that's Ohio State, Georgia. Everybody wants to see it again. I want to see that again.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, fellas, but hey, go Bucks, and we'll see you later.
See you later, Caden. Have an awesome weekend. And we got a good buddy of ours, Mike G, has been waiting on the line. We are so sorry about the long wait. Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Hey, Mike G.
Loud and clear. How are you doing tonight, Mike?
I'm doing good. That guy, it's going to be hard to follow after that guy. I appreciate his passion for the sport. I share his passion for the sport, actually. So I love it, man. I love it. But since he got his word in on my beloved Crimson Tide, and apparently he's an Ohio State fan, I'll be nice and respectful and keep the peace. But I will say Ohio State just loses every big game they play. If you look at their last 10 games, the last 3 good ones, they lost the last 3 decent teams they played. Missouri, Michigan, although they have the weakest schedule year to year, they still lose all their big games.
Yeah.
I'll be nice and respectful.
Ryan Day is 2-6 against top 5 opponents.
The only big team that Ohio State can consistently beat is Penn State, and I air quote it because a lot of people don't count Penn State as a elite team, but they can beat them.
How
They struggle
funny
to beat
would it
everybody
be?
else, though.
How funny would it be if Penn State ends their losing streak against Ohio State?
It's possible
In front of a presidential candidate that Saturday. Like that'd be like the ultimate holy crap for the Buckeyes. It's like
that would be beautiful, actually. That would be beautiful. Look, the Big Ten, I don't want to say they're weak football. They're not weak football. The Big Ten's solid football. Let's be honest. But let's be honest. They're not the SEC by any stretch of the imagination. The gauntlet of the SEC. Let's be honest. So, and on Ohio State, we already have an Ohio State in the SEC. We call them Texas A&M. So, that's, honestly, it's way back. But state of college football, I will agree with that guy with one thing. Georgia's an excellent team. They are the best team in college football right now. Although they do have an Alabama problem, I think we can all agree to that. They have a major Alabama problem. I think any level-headed Georgia fan would agree to that. But they are the best team in college football. And I live here in Austin, Texas, by the way. And I'm telling everybody around here that they're going to get their ass kicked because Georgia's PO'd, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm glad Texas A&M got introduced to the SEC properly after the Mississippi State game. So I think Texas plays Vanderbilt this weekend. Wouldn't that be lovely to see an upset? Vanderbilt beat Texas. Wouldn't that totally throw a wrench in the entire SEC? And I'd love to see it to be actually.
It would give Vanderbilt a chance to make the title game. I mean, everybody's saying Vanderbilt could go 10-2, make the playoff. I'm like, come on. I know it's possible, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
I see the collapse is imminent. I mean, it's going to happen anytime now. But they do have Joe Montana Jr. over there throwing the ball for them, so we'll see how it plays out. And they did
Diego Pavia
to beat Georgia, so we'll see how that plays out. But I doubt seriously Vanderbilt is on the level of the prime teams of the SEC. But we'll see how it goes, man. To be honest with you, but in Oregon, let me ask y'all guys a question. Just ask y'all a question. If Alabama and Oregon play tomorrow, Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, what do you think the line would be?
I feel like it would be
Oregon by like 3.
Yeah, Oregon -3.
I'd say Bama be favored by 1.
Yeah. That could happen.
This is why, guys, because aren't them bets based on people putting money in Las Vegas? Aren't them bets based on people betting? Which I don't know, but aren't that based on people ain't dumb when it comes to their money? I bet you Alabama be favored. I'm not kidding you. They ought to be a draw. You know why? Because anyway, that I just want y'all to ponder that question. Alabama's number 14 or 15. If we played the top 5 teams right now, I bet we'd be favored to beat 3 of them. So it's like it's kind of ridiculous where we're at. The Vanderbilt, and maybe not, but that's just my opinion. I think
the line would start at Oregon -3, but then to your point, Mike, then it would shift to maybe a pick or Bama favored by 1 because people place in the bets. Absolutely, because the bets shift. Like, for example, just a random game, Indiana was favored to beat Washington by 10 this week before the Curtis Fork injury news. Now it's down to 6. So that's the way people are with their bets. Absolutely. They go to the other team if there's injury news or if things change. So I agree. I think Oregon would start out favored, but then Bama might be favored against Oregon once people place the bets.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Oregon be favored. You're right. But you get my point. You get my point. They wouldn't be favored by much. They wouldn't be favored by much. You get my point. But from this point, so I think Oregon's a little overrated, which they are every year. Why they beat Ohio State? Oh, wow. Ohio State loses to everybody. Every good team they play, Ohio State loses to. I mean, so don't even get me started. But anyway, state of college football. LSU. Apparently they're a pretty good team.
And there's a big game against A&M. Big game.
Yeah, big game. This is a big game. This is going to be like hopefully like the Tennessee-Alabama game was not. Hopefully it wasn't a elimination game. These are semi-elimination games. And for those that said the regular season doesn't matter, are you watching these games? Because I think they do.
Regular season seems to matter right there. It's like, certainly if you want to be at 5 through 12 or
definitely with the 12-team playoff, it makes these games more important. They wouldn't have mattered before as much.
Yeah. Bama, these games matter for me big time. This is why, because Bama's on the edge of the 12-team playoff. I really think we're a top 12 team. We should be the 12-team playoff, but we'll see how the Vanderbilt loss is brutal, man. No margin of error now. Look like you guys know how it goes. Look at the schedule. Tennessee, these tough games we got, losing to Vanderbilt. Now there's no margin of error, but that's just where we're at. But we can talk about Alabama where we're at. But I just want to remind Bama Nation of some things. Like I said, I've gone on several YouTube talk shows defending my beloved Crimson Tide because I don't want to verbally lynch our coach and turn us into Auburn. So I want to give this guy some time and get himself some assistant coaches. I think we're missing Ryan Grubb. I think we're missing Ryan. If you want to talk level-headed about the Crimson Tide and not, be too overly emotional about our team, we're missing. I think he's missing Ryan Grubb. I think he's having a little trouble adjusting to the SEC and the expectations of the SEC and the stage in which he's in. I didn't think he'd realize he'd become probably the most popular guy in college football. Maybe he did, or one of the most popular. You get my point. One of the most popular guys. But I'm just supporting our team, man. This is why we got to remember where we're at. I mean, when Nick Saban, just a reminder, I'm probably going to, dude, I still got scars and Band-Aids and bruises all over me about getting verbally beat down for trying to defend the Tide. But here's where I stand with that, man. We just got to keep things in perspective. Nobody's ever going to go undefeated again, period, guys, period. Nobody ever. Don't freak out when we lose a game. Yeah, Vanderbilt totally sucked. That was horrible. It was horrible. Unacceptable. Yes. Don't freak out, man. Nobody's ever going to go undefeated again. I mean, that I know of, period, 99%, i.e. Georgia, this year, they apparently to be a beast, and we whooped them. I mean, so that's not going to happen. So don't freak out when it doesn't happen. Support your team. I just want to remind you, when Nick Saban came to Alabama, he didn't get handed a piece of crap team. 2 years before, Mike Shula, we went 10-2. The year before that, we went 6-6, but just had a second half collapse. We didn't have a super crappy team, but an epic second half collapse with injuries and bad luck. So he didn't get handed super. So he went 7-6 his first year with a loss to Louisiana Monroe. I'm just trying to remind the youngsters, don't turn us into Auburn fan base. Don't turn us into Auburn, man. Give this guy some time. I really think we have the best coach. He needs some time to build his team. Jalen Milroe, you want to spend 3 hours talking about Jalen Milroe? I mean, that's our guy, man. We got to support him. Do I think Milroe's the problem? No. You know what the problem is? The same problems we had with Saban. I'm realist. I'm supporting my team, but I'm being a realist. The same problems with Saban. Offensive line and defensive backfield. Same problems. Hey, and penalties, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Y'all got better eyes than me. I'm probably older than twice both of y'all combined. But is every time Ryan Williams runs out on a pass, he gets penalized. Somebody penalized him. It's not called. I keep my eyes on Ryan Williams. He's a spectacular player. Defensive players are all over him, man. They are pulling that guy, grabbing his jersey. I forget what game it was because I was so frustrated. But they threw Jalen Milroe threw to him twice in the end zone. It might have been the Tennessee game, maybe the Vanderbilt game. He was penalized. One time they penalized him so bad he couldn't catch the ball. It would have been a touchdown had the
What network was it on? ABC or SEC network?
Well, I had to be on ABC because I'm in Tennessee, man. I'm old school. I got
Alabama, Tennessee.
Had to be Tennessee. But honestly, just keep an eye. Just say, guys, I'm starting to think, and I'm not a conspiracy-minded dude, but what's up with the flags against Alabama and Nick Saban and all the are we that undisciplined throughout Saban and DeBoer's tenure? Possibly. I mean, the NIL coming off the COVID years, guys, there was no in-person evaluation, or just we're still cleaning up off the COVID years a little bit. I'm starting to think there's some kind of penalty. Dude, Ryan Williams and they are all pulling that dude, pulling his jersey, beating the crap out of him. They are not calling it, man. I don't know what's going on. If football is just getting too fast for these, the penalties are what's killing us, guys. Other than the obvious offensive line, I don't think Jalen Milroe's the problem.
No.
I think Jalen Milroe's good enough to get us to the big game. To win the big game, I don't know. But he's good enough to get us to the big game like last year, or close to it. But the offensive line, dude, whether it's Milroe or whether it's Ty Simpson, they get the ball, they run for their life. All Milroe's instinct, at least he can run, at least he can run. But I don't know, man. I'm not a coach. I don't know the X's and the O's. Should he stay in the pocket more and try to find a receiver? I don't know. I'm not an X and O's guys. But he is running too much. Our offensive line struggling. And my opinion, guys, inconsistency, just as an older guy, inconsistency is worse than just plain sucking. Because if you just plain suck, at least you know what you got and what you are and where you got to go. If you're inconsistent, you don't know that you suck. So one day you rely on being good and then you suck because you're inconsistent. Inconsistency is worse than being lucky. That's what our offensive line, they don't suck. We got great players. They're just inconsistent, man. Or I don't want to say we got great players. We got a couple of good ones. I don't know. But that's the problem. We had but the same problems. But guys, I'm sticking with the team. I can rant forever about where we're at with Alabama football. Because believe me, I'm as hard as anybody where we're at in the rankings. I'm as hard as anybody being out of the top 10, losing to Vanderbilt, 100% unacceptable, Coach DeBoer, 100%. Absolutely. But just keep going. We're going to hit the reset button. I'm not going to, man, I'm warning Bama something. Another thing, too, guys. Tell me if I may be wrong. There's been a lot of noise coming from our football is we're an easy target right now. When you've been on top for so long and you're down, it's easy to kick somebody when they're down. Everybody piles on, man, starts banging. I was just watching this documentary about Mussolini. They beat the hell out of his dead body for 3 days. So I kind of feel like, Bama getting beat the hell out. But we're not Mussolini, not by no stretch. But guys, where I'm going with that is this, man. We can't turn into Auburn. We got to give our guys time. We got to give our coach time. Yeah. He needs some assistant coaches. I think he does miss Ryan Grubb. I think Ryan Grubb's an asshole. But Ryan Grubb is killing it in the NFL. He's doing good in the NFL.
So, yeah,
they're doing good. But
Seahawks are doing very well so far. Let's see if it translates this weekend as well. But as we've seen what it's looking like for Alabama going into Missouri on Saturday, 2:30 Central Time, what's your score prediction for this game, Mike G?
I've been very conservative on my predictions because this is first year and I'm going to be level-headed about the year. But I think Alabama's angry. I think they got something to prove. I think DeBoer is angry. I think he's just reserved. And I think DeBoer has to toe the line with his demeanor about the way you approach youngsters for football nowadays, the way you just got to be very careful with your demeanor. I know people are talking about demeanor, but anyway, I think Bama's angry, like Georgia was versus Texas. I think I heard where Missouri's limping. I heard they're injured, and even their quarterback Brady. I heard. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're hurting all over.
Yeah, so I think Bama's going to beat them pretty good. So I'll say Bama 41, Missouri 21. I'll say we beat them pretty good beating. That's because but you guys, I'm gonna stop for the meantime, Bama fans. Anybody out there listening, believe me, man, I'm as disappointed as you as anybody. I'm 60 years old, been a Bama fan forever. We got to give this guy time. Let's not turn into Auburn. Let's not Brian Harsin this dude. Let's give him some time to build this football team. He was handed a team with problems, guys. We was handed a team with problems. Bryce Young.
Yeah, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to the 80s.
No.
I don't want to go back to the mid 2000s.
That's one of the only things you don't want to go back to the 80s for.
Oh, hell no. But imagine this, guys. Imagine if Nick Saban's last 2 years, instead of Bryce Young, he had Milroe. What do you think? How more or less successful do you think he would have been? Ponder that, Bama Nation. Dang, man. Stick with our team, guys. Stick with our freaking team, guys. I'm so hurt, man. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, guys. A lot of the Mussolini story, this is where I was going with that. A lot of this beating is coming from outside our nation. It's coming from outside our territory. It's coming from outside our BAM. It's coming from ESPN. It's coming from Paul Feinbaum. It's coming from Auburn. Auburn sucks, man. Look where Auburn's they're living in
They
hell
do
right
suck.
now.
No, they're the best two. They're the best 2-5 team in all of college football.
They suck.
Let me explain something to some Bama fans out there. The only enjoyment an Auburn fan will get right now is trolling a Bama team. So you got to realize where a lot of this was coming from. So defend your team, man. Don't buy into that shit, guys. I troll Ohio State all the time because they're posers and they suck and they deserve it. Just like Auburn trolls us when they can. So don't buy into that shit, guys. I'm telling you. Sorry, excuse my language. I usually don't.
You're good.
So angry, man, about our fan base, guys. Honestly,
I don't blame you.
And you would not believe I go in some of these chats, man, to try to defend my team. You would not believe the verbal, dude. 10-1. People like you suck. Shut up, Vanderbilt. You idiot. I hate fans like you, blind fans. My God, man.
They're acting like Alabama's Florida State.
And those idiotic comments like, oh, DeBoer got handed a Bugatti. He got handed a Ferrari.
Oh, God.
I don't think so. Yeah, DeBoer got handed a fine top 5 team. Absolutely. And DeBoer is struggling. Yes. He did not get handed a Bugatti. He did not get handed the trophy before the season started, guys. Let's get over that one. Ponder that Milroe question I asked you. Imagine if Nick Saban's last 2 years, he had Milroe instead of Bryce Young. Ponder that, Bama Nation. But look, and think about all the close games we had the last 3 or 4 years of Saban.
Mm-hmm.
All the close, dude. We were struggling a little. We were struggling, and let me explain another, guys. Thank you for giving me the floor. Sometimes, let me explain one more thing to Bama Nation. Okay, There's something called a Saban bump. What I mean by that is this, and you know this. You already know this. If there was a recruit that was a number 100 recruit, well, as soon as Saban offered him, he became a number 50 recruit. Anything that had Alabama or Saban attached to it automatically got bumped just because for some reason it had Saban attached to it. We don't have that benefit. Let me give you one prime example. The the 14 playoff last year. You know what we got? Why we got in? Because they had Saban as coach. That's why we got in. We don't have that anymore, guys.
Yep.
We lost a Saban bump. So, Bama Nation, stand by your team. There's so much outside noise. Don't let them. Yeah, the Vanderbilt 100% acceptable. But and like we talked about last time, guys, it ain't football 1982 no more. It's easy to transfer in Joe Montana Jr. It's easy to get him transferred in. I say that because the guy was that day. And that's what it takes to beat Bama. But but you got to stand by our teams, guys. But I think I think Bama's gonna, and hopefully I think Bama's gonna have a good game this weekend because we're PO'd and Missouri is injured and it's our homecoming. And guys, if we lose this game,
the panic button is off. Panic button is off.
Yeah, the panic button's gonna fall. The panic button's gonna blow up. So I'm not going to say must win though because it's first year. Second year, I'd say must win. I'm not a complete blind idiot. Second year, I'd say first year. First year, I won't blow up the panic button because Saban went 7-6 his first year. Just FYI, guys. But I hope we win. We got to win. I think we're going to win, guys.
We should. I mean, it's like I know I had it as like 31-24 earlier this week, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm changing it to 31-14 because of how.
I mean, if Missouri was healthy, it'd be different. But if Bama struggles, like barely wins or loses this game with a injured Missouri, then it's a horrible look. They would be the worst loss of the season, honestly, even worse than Vanderbilt on the road. It would be the worst loss of the season.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to tell something. I'm in Austin, right? All Texas fans. A dude that lives in the way down got a Texas banner flying. They love the Longhorns, and now they're good again. They finally good. They think they're top cow, right? But check this out. They got brought down to earth, man. I tried telling them, Georgia whooped their cowhide. I mean, did you see it? Just like that dude, the previous caller. I agree with the way that Georgia. That was brutal. That was a brutal physical whipping. Now, Texas is going to get a little taste of what they're going to have to deal with on a regular basis. Just that's so they're going to have to go play Vanderbilt, and I think they got the easier of the SEC schedules, but they had to come to. Oh, another thing too about Joe, you know throw the bottle on the field incident they had where they littered the field with bottles because of a bad call. Yeah, it was a bad call. You don't do that crap in the SEC, man. No, you don't do that crap in the SEC. We don't throw shit on the field, guys. No, you got unless you're really wrong, like Tennessee was a few years ago. They were really wrong, and they just totally lost it. But you don't prematurely throw. That's Big 12 shit. Leave that crap in the Big 12, guys. We play football with a little bit of class anyway. So I know that's why I tell them that. I said that ain't gonna fly. But it was a bogus call. It was a bad call. Yeah, that's not right for them to do that. But that was a beautiful game. But before the game though, man, I said,
wait until you see what Eagles fans have done in response to a call they didn't like. Like, because I remember like 1 year they were like throwing batteries or something, and like 1 year I think it was like in the late 60s where they were throwing snowballs at Santa Claus because they were mad about not tanking enough for O.J. Simpson.
There was an NFL game where something happened where they were throwing batteries and all that stuff on the field. I mean, but in the SEC, Tennessee's notorious for that crap. Because I think Lane Kiffin's got like a golf ball on his desk. He's a golf ball and knocked him in the head. Tennessee game, but that happens. But you can't do that, man. You gotta give them time to work through it, and but that was beautiful. Though I'm glad Texas, because they were on cloud nine. So I'm glad it came like crashing down for them. But because I'm not a Texas fan, although I'm here in Austin, I'm not a Texas fan. But you got to stick by our Crimson Tide, guys. That's what I can tell you.
Exactly. Mike G, thank you for calling in, and we appreciate your take, and we hope to see you again next week.
Absolutely appreciate it.
Roll Tide, guys.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
And we got a buddy of ours, a buddy of the Voice College Football Network. He is the one and only himself, Will ND. How you doing tonight, man?
How's it going, Will?
Okay, I'm not muted now. Okay. Hey guys, I know I was like trying to go to bed, but this Thursday night game's actually good. So I was watching the Thursday night football game. Vikings and the Rams.
Oh, what's going on there? Give us an update.
It looks like the Rams are gonna pull it off, man. I mean, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp both came back, and they've both had good games. And who knows, the Rams might turn their season around. We'll see.
Well,
28-20 right now.
Well, if Matt Stafford decides to retire, please tell me there's a way that Bryce Young can be traded out of that dung heap in Carolina.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Don't blame me. Blame that stupid owner, David Tepper. He's a moron.
No, David Tepper. You've seen my Twitter. You've seen my Twitter.
Oh,
David Tepper. It's never a nice comment about that guy. He is a horrible owner.
It was
How dare you ruin Bryce Young's career?
It was interesting, man. Like I was seeing, I was looking at some Panther chats, and they're like, "He's not as bad as Snyder. He's not as bad." But we'll see.
Oh, he's terrible. He is terrible.
But the thing with Bama this season, they're not a bad team this season.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it seems like they just can't get the run game going at all. They haven't been running it as much, and when they do run it, it just hasn't been working. That's really been the biggest difference, I think, from Bama in the past and the Bama now.
The thing that's so funny is I agree with you on the run game not being effective. But look at these stats, though. I mean, Jam Miller, 63 carries, 402 yards, 6.4 per carry. When he gets the ball, it's not bad. 5 rushing touchdowns, but they're not running it much, and that's to your point. Justice Haynes, 47 carries, 271 yards.
Well, it just seemed like recently it hasn't been as good when they've ran it. Maybe it was good in the beginning.
Milroe's got 11 rushing touchdowns, but I think your point's absolutely right in the fact that Alabama's not running the ball as much, and that's hurting their offense because it's putting it more on Milroe. But I think they can run the ball. I don't think they're an elite running team, and I think they can run the ball because they've done all right this season when they run. They just don't run it very often.
I mean, I felt like recently it hasn't been good, but maybe it's because they haven't been committing to it as much. But, I think I put money on Mizzou to cover before the Brady Cook news came, so I think I wasted money on that. You guys will probably be
Oh, man, how much exactly?
$10. I don't bet that much, but
okay.
I don't bet that much money.
It's all right. It's all right.
You'll probably cover against Mizzou. Garrett Nussmeier against that secondary. I don't like Kelly, but I think they'll beat you. And I don't know.
I picked A&M.
Man. Well, I was saying LSU would beat you next week.
Well, you'll get a big laugh out of the debates I've been having with Sports Talk with Austin about Brian Kelly and his
I think he'll be. I think A&M will beat Bama, but I think LSU will beat Bama just because the secondary is just not great for Bama. But I could be wrong. But next season, the offensive line just needs to get better for Bama. I think that's the biggest. I mean, maybe hit the portal, but I feel like Bama recruits well enough that they shouldn't have. They should just use the guys that they recruit and develop them.
How do you feel about Alabama's defensive coordinator, Kane Womack, the former Indiana?
Oh, he's kind of stunk. I'm not gonna lie. I feel
like he's regressed, man. He's regressed.
He should have stayed at South Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that would work better. I honestly thought that pairing would work better. It's not really working.
Maybe get Robert Saleh. Maybe I don't know if he'll recruit, but he's a good.
Well, I mean, it's better than being at the Jets. I
know he's going to be an analyst for the Packers. Maybe get him if he can. I don't know if he could recruit, but that would be a good defensive coordinator. I don't know. That was just an idea, but.
What do you think about Mike G's comment, Will, about Ryan Williams getting I guess you would say, like, people are holding them and stuff like that, and they're not calling penalties. Did you, I don't know if you heard him say that earlier, but I mean, I feel like Ryan Williams just has such a disadvantage because of his size. He's so small.
I mean, maybe he gets held, but they're not going to call that crap at Neyland. I mean, it's just the home field advantage in the SEC. Like, they're just not going to call him.
He's so small. I mean, he's easily movable. It's like Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State. That's why Ohio State fans are like, oh, he's the best receiver, or best freshman anyway. But arguably, you say best receiver because he's a beast. He's big. He's a big body, right? Whereas Ryan Williams is, he for a football player, he's stick thin. He does not have a lot of girth. So I think that kind of hurts Ryan Williams because obviously he is so talented. He's athletic. He's insanely good, but the thing is, the play that bothered me, though, and even though I agree with Mike G on a lot of what he said, absolutely, like 95% of it, the one problem that I have with Milroe, because I'm not dunking on Milroe. I think Milroe's fine. It's not all of his fault why they're losing because there's a lot of other issues. But that one play against Tennessee where he overthrew Ryan Williams by about 10 yards, I don't understand what happened there. You complete that pass to Ryan Williams, and Ryan Williams shakes that defender. Bama's getting out of Neyland with a win. Okay, that was just a horrible pass by Jalen Milroe. He wasn't even pressured either. So I do think something's going on there. I do think his confidence has been shaken somewhat. Milroe's has, but because that was a terrible miss. I mean, you cannot miss that throw. He's wide open. Ryan Williams, that was the most he was open all game. But other than that play, I don't think you can blame Milroe all the way because, I mean, it's not all his fault. O-line, running game, like you said, Will, but he has missed some throws.
Yeah.
I think he might go to the portal if you're Bama next year for a quarterback. I mean,
better than you don't want to do what Michigan did.
Yeah.
And not get one.
Better be safe.
Maybe save Jackson Arnold. Like maybe Kalen DeBoer can save Jackson Arnold. I mean,
I don't know, man. Jackson Arnold.
Maybe we can come up with enough. Maybe we can come up with enough money to see if we can get Diego Pavia. I mean, I always say if you can't beat him, get him.
He's like my age though, man. I don't know how much eligibility he has left. I can look it up, but
he's got that. Well, I mean, there's that COVID year, so there's that. I mean, I know they went to military academy for 2020, 2021, so maybe.
What did you think about Grayson McCall retiring? I have to ask you that, Will. What did you think about that? That was kind of sad.
Yeah. He did JUCO, so I think he might have another year. I know he was a JUCO guy. Okay, so maybe you could get Pavia. I don't know.
Let's get him. Get him.
I don't know. Would he be able to lead Alabama though? Can he do that? I mean, I know he's done well at New Mexico State and Vandy, but
simple. Bring Jerry Kill on with him.
How tall is he?
He's 6'0".
Yeah, he's short. I mean, I know Bryce Young did fine, and Tua, I mean, they were shorter, but I don't know. I mean, I think he'd be all right. I mean, if he wants to transfer, and that's the only thing Alabama can get. But it says, what do you think about Ryan Williams doing a jump shot celebrating on ball in the fourth?
That was so dumb. Where he was like,
I mean, he's 17 years old, man. The maturity's not going to be all the way there.
The thing is, though, Saban, this is what I'm saying. I keep saying these words, these buzzwords. I don't know if a lot of people are catching up on. They probably are, but no one's really saying this. Between Saban and now Kalen DeBoer, you see that the attitudes are different. We talked about this earlier in the season about how Alabama never got too high, too low with Saban. Now they're celebrating when they're losing, or that they're get like the Georgia game when they were blowing them out, like just going crazy, and then they fell apart. You didn't see that type stuff with Saban. You're seeing just an undisciplined team more so. I mean, I'm not saying they're as undisciplined as some teams that are really undisciplined, but they're more undisciplined. They celebrate more when maybe you shouldn't. They just don't look as prepared. It's just a different team. The talent's there, but this team's not being coached the same way like Saban was coaching the team. I think it's because Kalen DeBoer can't coach this team the way Saban did. He doesn't have the respect. I mean, Saban had respect because he was the greatest coach of all time. Kalen DeBoer doesn't have that level of accolades. I feel like these players just, I mean, like, hey, like we want to go to Bama, we want to win, but they're not focused. They're not like, if Saban was here, you wouldn't be seeing this lack of focus. I mean, yeah, there were some penalties toward the end of Saban's there, but I think that was more age. I think that was more him not declining as a coach, but just getting older, not being able to run the program like he ran it when he was 65. I don't know, or 60 years old. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. People could disagree, and obviously that's okay. I mean, everybody has a different opinion, but I feel like DeBoer just being not Saban and the fact that he can't run this team the way Saban did, it's making these players, less focused and make more mistakes. It's more so just the small things. It's not big things. It's small things, including you could say Ron Williams celebrating. I don't blame him, though he's 17. But it's just the whole team, just not as focused.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, I don't know. We'll see with Bama next year. They got to do some coaching shakeups and a quarterback shakeup, though.
Yeah, and they have to get the players actually, back focused and ready to beat every team and not overlook Vanderbilt. I understand Vanderbilt is better this year, but still at the same time, Bama shouldn't have lost to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vanderbilt lost to Georgia State. They're not great. They barely beat Ball State. I know it's week before Texas game. Look ahead. But how many times can you say look ahead? Okay? I mean, how often can you do that? I mean, I don't know. You can say that, but at the same time, I think Vanderbilt, they are what they are. They're all right. They're okay. Not great, though. Bama was disappointing. They didn't play well. They had multiple chances to beat Vandy, but they blew it. I mean, that 4th and 1 that Vandy completed that long pass, I mean, that defense sucked. The secondary was awful. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think the secondary is an issue too, but it's a full of young guys. They'll get better probably. So, I don't know. I mean, thank you, Kelly Wood. Appreciate you for stopping by. But, I mean, Bama already played their championship. It's over. Saban is going to get over it. I mean, the thing is, I mean, we're football fans. We love Bama. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to just get over it. I don't know what team you're a fan of. But I do think that we understand that the dynasty's over. I mean, all dynasties are technically over unless Kirby can do it. Dynasties are over. It's a different era of college football. No, I mean, we're not lobbying for a championship here, but thanks for stopping by, Kelly.
All right. Well, guys, I'm going to go head to bed, but yeah, I just want to pop in. Talk a little
before you go, because we do appreciate you for stopping by, Will, I want your take on the Navy game.
I mean, I think they should be able to just run it down Navy's throat, get some stops, and win. But I mean, I can't be no games are given for Notre Dame, so I'm a little nervous. But hopefully, they just Navy isn't able to stop the run, and the Irish win by like 2 to 3 scores. That's what I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I picked Notre Dame. I did pick Notre Dame to beat Navy. Yeah. I did say in the video, I think there's a better chance Army beats Notre Dame than Navy does, but we'll see. You never know. So hope Notre Dame wins for you, Will. Yeah. But thanks for coming on, and hope you have a great night, man.
And tell your friends, family, and cashiers at Publix about the magic that Will is creating on Marcus_era on X and on Klowski.
Maybe eventually me and Will can get back on the show.
I know. I'm sorry.
We're trying to get that going again. It's scheduling conflicts, but have a good night, Will.
Thanks, guys.
Night, man. And you can check out
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
And you can check out Jeffrey's video on the Week 9 college football predictions for 2024 on his personal channel at Only Talk Sports.
I appreciate it, Jackson. Absolutely have all the picks for the big games this week. I do it every single week. Was doing it with Will, a live stream on Tuesday nights, but like I said, scheduling conflicts. So made a video on it. Definitely appreciate it if you guys go check that out and subscribe to Only Talk Sports, my YouTube channel. Would really appreciate it. I do want to ask you, Jackson, since we don't have any callers right now, this comment though. I'm glad Kelly stopped by. Again, I don't blame her for writing this. I don't. But what are your thoughts on this comment? Because Saban is gone, get over it. That's the only part I'm looking at. What are your thoughts on that statement?
I don't think they have to tell us that, like you and I that, but they may have to tell some of the other fans that. It's like, I mean, I get we're at that 5 stages of grief. I completely understand. I mean, I've been at that. I was basically at that acceptance stage at around late January, like a few weeks after Saban announced his retirement.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I feel like anybody that thought that after Saban was gone, that Alabama was just going to continue to win at the rate that they were before is absolutely insane. You couldn't think that. You could hope that. No problems with hoping for that. But if you legitimately thought that, yeah, you're kind of nuts. Because who follows the greatest coach of all time at a school, in a sport, and does as well? It just does not happen. It does not happen. Every single, program, whether it's in professional sports or college sports, when you're following a legend, usually that team takes a step back. It usually does. And I know some people will be like, well, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day at Ohio State. I don't even know what you want to even call that. Something like that. Like Urban won. Now Ryan Day's winning. But like Ohio State hasn't won a championship in a decade.
And they haven't beaten Michigan since 2019.
I mean, they're consistently still winning. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, Saban's standard is just unreachable for like everybody. We don't even know if Kirby can get close. But it's unreachable, Jackson. How can you do what Saban did? And like I said, the standard, it's just impossible to meet. And I, like you, when Kalen DeBoer got hired, there's no way in the world that I'm like, oh, well, Bama's just going to keep rolling. They're going to keep roll tide. Everything's good. They're going to win more championships. They might win a championship under DeBoer if he can get it, turned around in the next couple of years. We don't know. But we knew that they weren't going to be as good as this. There might be some fans on Twitter, Kelly, that are saying that, but that's Twitter for you, man. That's Twitter for you. There are some delusional fans in every fan base. Every fan base has them. Every fan base has those fans. And sometimes those people just like to troll. They know that what they're saying is fake or false. They just troll. People like to troll. But I think 99% of Alabama fans understood that they were not going to be as good. It's just more so that they're upset that it's over. We had the best coach in college football. And nobody else had him for almost 20 years. And Bama ran the sport. Yeah, they could be beat. They lost games. Ole Miss beat them. Mississippi State beat them. Georgia beat them once. Like, Bama could lose. Clemson beat them. Like, Bama could lose. Ohio State beat them. But it was rare. So I just feel like, and again, that your comment, definitely I understand it, but I don't think most Bama fans, we're just going to keep rolling. I think we realized that we were going to take a step back, and we have. Bama's not as good. There's a lot of reasons why, and I've outlined them earlier in the show and in the last few weeks that me and Jackson have done the Collins show, and Jackson and Johnny have talked about it as well. This is not as good of a football team. The fundamentals aren't there. They still got the talent. They got a great coach, but they just don't have the fundamentals. It's not the same, and we were not expecting it to be as good.
And Mr. J B Ben on it is asking us if we still think that Alabama can make the playoffs. Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't see us making it to the SEC title game. I mean, that those hopes are dead. Those are dead as dead as the era of the Beatles.
I will say
it's just gone. But
well, yeah, it's better. It's better than rock and roll music being relevant. Because it's not. Great genre of music, but it's irrelevant these days. But I think to answer this question, do you think Bama makes the playoffs? Can Bama make the playoffs? Obviously, yes. If they win out, they make the playoffs. We both have said that. And if Alabama can win out and go 10-2, they make the playoffs. But will they win out? That LSU game's the make or break game. I mean, I don't even want to presume that. Like, I'll normally would say, well, as long as Bama beats Missouri, what? No, Alabama can lose to Missouri because they're playing pretty bad for their standards. But if they beat Missouri, that game against LSU, you knock off LSU, and as long as you don't choke against Oklahoma or Auburn, Alabama is going to make the college football playoff. Now, I'm assuming with them being 10-2 that they would not make the title game because things could get weird where Alabama does go 10-2, Jackson, and somehow Alabama makes the SEC title game, loses in the SEC title game, goes 10-3, and then they miss the playoffs. Possibly that could happen. But if Alabama goes 10-2 and does not make the title game, honestly, I'm just being honest, which just sounds insane, but honestly, it would be better for Alabama to win out and not make the title game. It would be better for them not to make the title game because it's giving you another chance to lose. So, yes, Alabama can make the playoffs. Now, as of right now, do I think Alabama makes the playoffs? I don't. I do not think they will make the playoffs. I think they will lose again. I think they lose to either LSU or who knows. Well, I think they lose again. So I would say as of now, no, I don't think they're going to make it. But, yes, they can still make it. They just need things to break their way, like them winning out, and they need to either win the SEC title game if they make it, or they need to not make it, because I think them missing the title game in that scenario would actually be beneficial.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, a lot of people are thinking that, oh, if you get that 1 seed or that 2 seed, everything's going to be fine and dandy, and you're automatically going to win. Well, people that automatically think that obviously have not read the history of the NFL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, or the MLB playoffs, or even like NHL. You know, you got to look back at it and just kind of go, you know, I'm not going to take my hopes up for granted, because that's a bad move right there.
Honestly, Jackson, the sport that it makes the most sense to really want a high seed, like a 1, 2, or whatever, is in college basketball. College basketball is where it makes the most sense in the NCAA tournament why you want it, because you're going to be playing a small school, but even then you can still lose. We've seen upsets happening more frequently in that regard, like Purdue losing to Fairleigh Dickinson or Virginia losing to UMBC, one going down to 16. So honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your seeding is. You just got to win. I mean, remember when the Miami Heat, when they were the 8 seed in the NBA playoffs, they beat the 1 seed. So
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter what your seeding is. It just matters as long as you win. So, I mean, the thing is Alabama's put themselves in a situation where they have no margin for error. I mean, to make the playoffs, they have no margin for error. Because what people don't understand, like, okay, Alabama's at 15 right now. If you knock off Missouri and then beat LSU, Alabama's going to be back in the top 10. So they would be right back in the playoff field. They just can't lose again. Because obviously, if they lose to like Oklahoma or Auburn, if they beat LSU, then they would fall right back out and they would miss the playoffs. They have to win out, but they're not done. Abel Kane's brother says, I'm not convinced it still can't be done. These Alabama naysayers hope to see Alabama down, but Alabama can still be successful. The thing is Alabama's not, again, falling off like Florida State. I mean, like I said that earlier. Alabama, if they were in like Florida State's boat right now, where they were 1-6 and losing to teams like California, or they beat California, but you know what I'm saying? Like they lost to SMU, they lost to Duke. Like they're losing to garbage teams, just bad teams, right? Beautiful. So that's the point. Alabama hasn't fallen off like Florida State. They've fallen off because, again, their standard was way up here, the unattainable. Now Alabama's human. They're beatable, and they're in the range of teams like Penn State and Ole Miss. Like they're down here now, but they can still get back up there. But they're gonna have to get their act together quick. They're not done. They haven't fallen off a cliff. It's just for Alabama standards, it's pretty rough because our standard was higher than anybody's. Abel Kane's brother says, I predicted Alabama to make the playoffs in his first year, but I did not predict a natty. Well, I don't think anybody predicted a natty.
No,
I agree on making the playoffs. I predicted Alabama to go 10-2. What was your preseason prediction for Bama?
I had us going 10-2. I thought
had them going 10-2 as well.
LSU would beat us in the preseason.
Yeah, I think those are the exact same games that I had. I think I had Bama losing to Georgia and LSU. Yeah, kind of funny how we did that, right? Same. He also says Bama's playing terrible and yet still winning or barely losing, so if they can improve, they can beat anybody. Absolutely, and they proved they can beat anybody because they beat Georgia. That's why, like Caden the Man, I agree with what Caden the Man said earlier in the show, but Alabama beat Georgia. I know it was in Bryant-Denny, but it doesn't matter. Alabama beat Georgia. They're still really good, but ever since that game, Alabama's lost their focus. If they can get their focus back, you're telling me they can't win these games. The only game that as of right now, it's like even if Alabama didn't have a loss right now and they were still undefeated after beating Georgia, you beat Vandy and you beat Tennessee, we would still be talking about this LSU game.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an easy game. It's just now that game has become a must win. It's become a must win if you're going to make the playoffs. All Alabama had to do was not lose to Vanderbilt. Because honestly, even the Tennessee loss is like, okay, not great. Like, you don't love it, but Bama lost to Tennessee 2 years ago. It's Neyland. I mean, it is what it is, right? But that Vandy loss is what's killing Bama. Because if Alabama had just lost to Tennessee, they could lose to LSU, still make the playoffs. So that's all I'm saying. I feel like Alabama's issue right now is that they just don't have a margin for error. They do not have a margin for error. That's what is making everybody be like, oh, they're horrible. But they're not a horrible team. It's more like Liam O'Hara, appreciate you for stopping by. Says Alabama's practicing their jump shots mid-game. DeBoer needs to go. No discipline. I don't agree with the DeBoer needs to go. But everything else you said, I agree with. The no discipline's a problem. This team is not the same as with Saban because the players are acting differently. We talked about Malachi Moore. And we were happy in the fact that he was angry that they lost, but his reaction after the game was bad. It was over the top, and it did not look good for the program, even though what he did made sense, but it's still something you would not have saw under Saban. We're just going to keep talking about Saban for years at this point. It's going to happen because you're just going to compare everything to Saban. That is the unfortunate thing when you are following the best coach of all time, which he is. But that's the unfortunate thing. Alabama is not the same team because they have a new coach. He's a younger guy. He's less experienced, and the players do not respect him. They just don't. Maybe some of them do, but some of them don't. And the whole team's not on the same page. And you're seeing outbursts. You're seeing stupid penalties. You're seeing players get into it. Did you see Kendrick Law against Tennessee?
Oh, yeah.
That screwed up that play there because it was 4th and 22 after it was 4th and 7. So Alabama on that completion that Milroe had on 4th down, that's a first down instead of it being turnover on downs because it was like a 10-yard game, but it was 4th and 7, went to 4th and 22. Yeah, that Tennessee player taunted Kendrick Law, but Kendrick Law responded. He pushed, got a penalty. And even though Tennessee got pushed back, it didn't offset because the referees were like, oh, well, let's get Kendrick Law because he pushed harder. Even though the Tennessee guy was taunting him, it should have offset. But that's something you do not see under Nick Saban. Yeah, you saw it maybe rarely, but if somebody did something like that, do you remember the doghouse? Does anybody remember Jaleel Billingsley? Remember the doghouse? That guy went to Texas. He was like, I'm out because I can't handle this. Saban didn't want him. Saban didn't want him. You know why? Because I'm saying he's a baby, but he couldn't handle it. He could not handle it. Could not handle the discipline of the greatest coach of all time. And Kalen DeBoer does not have the ability to do that because in this era of the NIL and the transfer portal, if DeBoer starts cracking down and be like, oh, well, Malachi Moore or Kendrick Law, because you did that, you're sitting this next game. You know what those guys are going to do? Hit the portal.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hit the portal. It's not the same era. You think anybody could do? You think even Kirby Smart? Oh, this guy got a DUI or whatever. You think he's going to sit the next game? Nope. You're even seeing discipline issues over at Georgia, focus issues. That's why I keep trying to tell Caden the man. Georgia is not unbeatable. They sucked against Kentucky. They sucked against Mississippi State. Yeah, they look good against Texas, but they're beatable. And we're seeing that team have more penalties than ever before, more drops. They said Georgia almost leads the nation in drops. They're not perfect. They got problems. It's because we live in this era where players are distracted. Players are letting things get to them, social media. And it's like, you discipline me or you say something I don't like, I'm leaving. That's the problem we have right now. Players, I'm not saying that players should just get disciplined like it's the 1950s, but players should get reprimanded for being stupid, whether on or off the field. If you commit crimes and
like
you get
pushing the Tennessee guy when
or
he
if you're
was
on the field and you're doing stupid crap, you shouldn't be able to just keep going out there and playing. It's all good. Kendrick Law was able to return the ball next play after what he did. Shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even have that. So that's all I'm saying. I just think that unfortunately DeBoer's caught in a situation where he's got a really talented football team.
He's basically stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, he's stuck in a rock and a hard place. He can't discipline him like Saban did. He can't. And so you're going to keep – because honestly, Liam, what coach can discipline these players? What? Who? There's nobody. Kirby's not even doing it. I don't see it. So
I don't think
if you want DeBoer to go, then like Mike G said, what you're going to start seeing is that, oh, well, DeBoer's gone. We get a new coach. He's even worse. And then we get a new coach. Yeah. He's even worse. And then you go down the Nebraska route and the Auburn route, and then you end up being garbage. So unless DeBoer's going 6-6 and 7-5 every year, I wouldn't be firing him.
Is it too late to call Super Nanny or no?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's like, oh man.
Liam says Elko's doing a pretty good job of discipline, but I mean, you're comparing that to A&M though with Jimbo Fisher, because like Jimbo Fisher, it was so bad. Anything's an upgrade. I don't know if Elko would do better than DeBoer. I don't know.
There were A&M players like smoking dope like 20 minutes before kickoff.
It was public knowledge. Everybody knew this. They didn't even hide it. Everyone knew. So the thing is what Elko's doing at A&M, it makes him look so good because of how bad the end of the Jimbo Fisher era looked. So if Kalen DeBoer got fired right now, sorry, Jackson, if Kalen DeBoer got fired right now and Mike Elko got the job, Liam, do you think that Mike Elko would do a better job of discipline with Bama's team than DeBoer? Maybe he would, but would it be by a significant amount to be up near Saban level of discipline, or would it be down here?
Yeah.
Well, I think he'd be just a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, it's like no issues with, like I don't care if people, like, drink alcohol or smoke weed, like, on their off time. But you can't be...
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing it 20 minutes before the game.
Exactly. And you certainly shouldn't be thinking about doing the mess around with a secretary in the back room. Because, like, God knows what they're thinking. Like what they were thinking. Like, who knows? Like, if they're thinking about getting high and getting drunk before a game,
you can't do it behind the wheel of a car either, like Georgia likes to do. No. Can't do that either, because we already have enough distractions as is. People on their cell phones, people looking at their infotainment centers and these new vehicles and all that, which the players got new vehicles. They got new vehicles with the big screens in there, so they're getting distracted, man. I mean, you got to focus on the road. You can't kill people. You got to pay attention. I mean, like honestly, I mean, like Henry Ruggs, that situation just still irritates me so bad. Henry Ruggs, such a great player, and he ruined his career because of stupidity. Just stupidity, man. It's just so annoying. We see NFL players all the time. Look at Tyreek Hill. I mean, driving 110 miles an hour right before the football game. It's just in his McLaren. It's like, come on, dude. I mean, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You're putting people's lives at risk. Liam says, true, we did have, definitely a whole lot better currently. That's what I'm saying. Elko's a major upgrade. John's not a Bama fan, but everything you said has been spot on since I've tuned in. Appreciate that, John. Absolutely appreciate, even if you guys are not Bama fans. Appreciate anybody for being here. We've had a lot of Tennessee fans in chat. If any of you guys like to call in, would definitely appreciate it. But absolutely, I mean, we appreciate any fan base is coming on the show. And any differing opinion, like Caden the Man, Ohio State fan, he's talking about Georgia being the best and Ohio State, like it's just cracking me up. He's like, Ohio State's the only team that can hang with Georgia, and I'm like, Bama beat them. Like, what are we doing here? Bama beat them, but
the only win Kirby got was on January 2022. That's it for him.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious, but we do appreciate that, John. I mean, you guys are absolutely right, though. I mean, I get, that Bama it has fallen off, and that we shouldn't be, thinking all that. But me and Jackson never did. We knew this. Like, I've been talking with my family and friends and everybody that I know that is a Bama fan, and I know plenty of Bama fans. I kept telling them, the second Saban retires, it's not going to be the same. No. And most of them agreed. They're like, I know, Jeffrey, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to see it. But it's going to happen. We know that. So we're all on board with the fact we knew it was going to be worse. We just don't want to see Bama fall off a cliff. As long as they remain relevant and they're a top 10 to 15 team, I'm all right with that. If Kalen DeBoer does that, I'm all right with it. I'd like to see better, but we have to realize that we're not getting Saban back.
No.
He's not coming back. What do you think about this, Jackson? Stoops for Bama.
No.
Don't think so, man.
No. Like
Especially
Bob
not this
Stoops
season.
should stay retired. Mark Stoops should stay at Kentucky. I'm like, nothing personal against the Stoops brothers, but no Stoops for Bama. Sorry.
Me and Jackson are split on this game. We are split on this game.
Because I've got LSU winning that one, I believe.
A&M. I think A&M, Kyle Field, night atmosphere, and I know Austin. If Austin's watching, he is going to think it is sacrilegious that I say this because obviously he's now a Brian Kelly fan. I did not know this, but I will say that Brian Kelly does not win the big game very often, not very often. And I will say, as messed up as A&M as a program has been throughout history, and the fact that they got almost more money than anybody, and they haven't won a championship in anything since 1940, they got a home atmosphere. They have a home atmosphere.
Last time they got that natty was when Gone with the Wind was in theaters. That's bad.
Yeah.
So
frankly, my dear, I don't give a hoot.
Yeah, their natty hopes are just gone with the wind, and you got Clark Gable going, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I didn't say it. Keeping it clean on air, but I mean, it's not really a bad word, I guess. But I love that line. It is such a great movie line. Great movie.
It's iconic. It's iconic.
It's a great movie. Like, I know, like, it's old and you try to get young people to watch an old movie like that. Like, I understand that it's old, man, but it's a classic for a reason. Great movie. Liam says, "Give me Aggies, can't beat us at home." I mean, all I know is I've seen Alabama go to A&M, especially for night games in the past. It is such a tough place to play. I mean, that environment, it is an unreal environment. I mean, you got the military in the stadium. You just, like, it's insane. It's a great atmosphere.
You got
there's not many
the dog.
There's not many stadiums that beat Kyle Field. Not many. It's in the top 10 for best environments. Abel says, I think we knew there'd be first-year growing pains, but I think the talent on this team made us forget that. Absolutely. I mean, Alabama still has so much talent. That's the difference between Saban's first year and this season. Like, Mike G is correct. Like, Saban's first year wasn't great, but yeah, like, he had to build the team. Alabama, a lot of ruts before Saban. I know Shula had a good year. A couple years before that, like he said, 10-2. But, like, as a whole, Bama as a program wasn't there. Saban came in, had to build it up, and it took 3 years, but you won a title after 3 years, literally, 2009. So the thing is that, like, with all the talent that they have coming from Saban and brought in, there's a few guys that got brought in. Yeah, you're like, oh, well, Alabama's still one of the 5 best teams in the country based on talent. Based on talent, I still believe that. I think Alabama's still one of the 5 best teams based off talent. But their level of play, barely even top 20. They're not playing as well up to their talent. They did against Georgia in the first half, but not since. But, yeah, I mean, that's the difference between DeBoer's first year at Bama and Saban's first year. Saban took over a worse team than DeBoer's been taking over. I agree. Like Liam said, was given a national championship team, wasn't his team. He had to measure them together in what little time he had for the offseason. It's different. And like I said, these guys they different vibe. I mean, that's why you saw a guy like Isaiah Bond leave, some guys left, just some players left because, like, it's not Saban. You're seeing a different coach. A lot of these guys they're like, well, Saban's gone, we're leaving. The commitment's not there. That's one of the biggest things that I don't like about the portal era, even though obviously it's helped a team like IU. Like, I'm happy for Indiana, all the portal guys they got in, but the loyalty's gone. The loyalty's history. We've even seen players for Indiana transfer midseason with this great team because, they're down the depth chart. There's no loyalty in college football anymore. Absolutely none.
No, I mean, certainly none. But, with Saturday being said, I know I've got my prediction for Alabama, Missouri. What's your prediction for Alabama, Missouri, Jeffrey?
No. I will say that I think I made my prediction after I found out about the news with Brady Cook and the running back, because if I had made my video before I knew that, I had it being really close. I think I had it being like 28-24, Bama. I was going to pick Bama anyway, But since Brady Cook, I mean, he's doubtful, but usually that means you're not going to play. Usually. And the running back we know is out. And that's, I mean, they got Luther Burden, but with no Cook, if their backup quarterback cannot throw to him, then he's useless. And like Liam said, a lot of players, not even just those guys, but those are just the ones off the top of my head that, yeah, those guys are out. I think I picked Alabama to win. I think I had it 34-21 in my video yesterday. I think I had 34-21. Pretty sure I did. I could be wrong. You could go back and watch that video, and I could have said something different, but I'm pretty sure I said 34-21. Somewhere in that ballpark. I think Alabama wins, and I think they win decently enough. I mean, honestly, they should win by a whole lot more, but I don't trust this team to do that. I just don't. So, we'll see. I hope Alabama wins big. I hope they win by 40. It would give them confidence coming into the bye week. Because that's a big thing. Bama's got a bye before LSU. That could help, too. So we'll see how that shakes out. But they just got to win this game. They got to focus on Missouri. Do not look at LSU. And hopefully I hate Missouri's got the injuries. I hate that. I don't like seeing players hurt. But since they're hurt, that could help Alabama maybe win bigger than that. And they'll be able to get their confidence back. Liam says give Vandy over, I'm assuming Texas. Yeah, I still don't see that. I really don't see Vandy even being close against Texas. I think Texas is going to be outraged, and they're going to beat them big. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
Okay, LSU is bye next week, too. Okay, it kind of negates that, I guess. I still think it's more important for Bama to have a bye, though. Yeah, I have a hard time keeping up with everybody's schedule, man. But I think it's more important for Bama to have a bye than LSU. Honestly, it almost would be it'd be better for LSU to not have a bye, like just play a team like a Mercer, because with LSU being gone, like they're playing really well, and if they can beat A&M, like they'd be going on a high, and they keep them rolling. But Alabama is limping right now. They need the bye. They need it badly. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting though.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Well, before we go, because it looks like we got to get ready for the rest of the weekend ahead of us, because I'll tell you right now, it'll be a wild ride. Jeffrey, what have you got going on your adventures at Only Talk Sports in Indiana at the Voice College Football?
Oh, definitely appreciate it, man. My YouTube channel, Only Talk Sports, right there in the chat. If you guys would like to check it out and subscribe, would really appreciate it. I talk college football, as Jackson has the link here in the chat, and NFL. I got my predictions for the week. So if you'd like to know all my picks for every game this week, they are there for the NFL and college football. I'm pretty sure, though, I did get Thursday Night Football wrong. I wanted the Vikings, and the Rams won. So I'm 0-1 in the NFL. But right now I have 70-38 on my NFL picks. I'm doing all right. And you can also check me out on Twitter/X, Only Talk Sports, and Rumble as well. Definitely appreciate that. You can also find me at Indiana at the Voice of College Football, making content over the Voice of College Football. So excited about that. At Indiana, the Voice of College Football. Having a historic year for Indiana. Awesome season.
Good time.
And absolutely trying to get people over there. And I'm, doing predictions and news updates for Indiana and live streams on every Tuesday night at 7. And also post-game shows. And then you've seen me here as well on the Alabama Call-In Show. And if I can make it, sometimes on the other shows as well. So definitely appreciate all of that. I hope you guys go check that stuff out. But most importantly, I appreciate you guys for being here tonight. Great show. Absolutely. You guys make it great. And glad some of you guys called in, and it was a lot of fun. And hopefully we have a really good Alabama performance this week, knocking off Missouri.
Oh, here we go. Well, you can also check me out. Oh, we appreciate we are sending you an invite right here and now, Mr. Krebs. We appreciate you coming on in. And we see that you're looking to be a YouTube member. And here we go. Put you in the chat. Yeah, here we go. But, oh, man. Voila. There you go. Gonna make some magic happen yet. Come on in, Matt.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody. If you guys become a member in Alabama at the Voice of College Football, we got a ton of content coming down the pipe with that as well. Appreciate it.
And we'd like to say congrats on the victory. We hope you enjoy it as much as possible because you're coming to Tuscaloosa next year. But you can also check me out. You can also check me out on my personal channel at Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, where I'm 120 subs away from that magic number 500. And where I have like my show, The Jacksonian, where I not only have that on YouTube, but on X on Jackson VOCFB as well. But I also put some updates involving Alabama at the Voice College Football and the Jacksonian on Jackson VOCFB, and on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. And of course, you can check out my latest episode with Tyler Whitfield, the new host of Florida Live at Florida at the Voice of College Football, where we go over quite a lot about the Florida Gators. Well, you can come on in for a little bit, man. Because here's the call-in link.
Yeah, it seems like Matt wants to call in.
Come on in. More merry, man.
I'll stay on a little bit longer. It's been a great show. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we can make it like the 2-hour mark. Because it says on the little ticker there that we're 14 minutes and 30 seconds away from 2 hours. Or so it says on the StreamYard. I mean, it may say a whole different number. Oh, Lord. He really likes sticks, doesn't he?
Signetti. I just want Signetti to stay in Indiana. Don't go anywhere. Like Indiana, give him a big extension and keep him. That's all I can say.
There you go. We got our buddy Matt.
It's about time. God damn it. I was still going to be Saban lover.
Okay.
How you boys doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing pretty good. Listen, I just want to tell one thing before I even get started. You two were fantastic sports. Thank you so much. I'm glad I wasn't a huge J. You know what? Are we allowed to cuss on this thing? I have no idea.
It's up to you, man.
I try not to, but it's all right.
Well, are we going to get flagged?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. YouTube, that you never know.
You never know.
People say on some shows like bad words every 2 seconds. All right, and other people get flagged for one thing. So I don't know.
Jeffrey, I agree, buddy. Kamala has been trying to get rid of it for all of us. We'll all get flagged. Don't you agree?
Yeah, you should have the freedom to if you want to say cuss word, you should have the freedom.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right, guys, I come in peace. My first question for you both: who are you voting for in the election?
We're not gonna air it out publicly.
So. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that for a second.
We try to keep the sports show. We try to keep
Alabama,
the
sports show. TC, right?
Yeah, we're just kind of giving people breaks of politics. Sorry.
No, you two are awesome. Let me tell you, fantastic sports for dealing with my dumb ass last week, right? Okay. So last week, I want to be clear about something. My name was Saban Lover. Do you believe
you're a Bama fan?
Yeah, you thought you were. Do you?
A little bit.
Do you still think I'm a Bama fan? I'm just wondering.
No.
But do you know what I am though? I'm still a Saban lover. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because he's a great coach.
Dude, Jeffrey, 100%, brother. I love college football, and I have to support the greats of all time. But I also love Nick Saban for retiring and letting Kalen DeBoer walk into Neyland Stadium and get his ass kicked. I mean, that's what it is, right? Like,
true.
Wait. Do you guys hear that? Oh, sorry. I thought someone was piping in music, piping in crowd noise here in my car as I'm sitting here. Oh, thank God. No, that's not Neyland Stadium. That was y'all's what was his name? His play-by-play guy who said we're piping in music in the Neyland Stadium.
That's funny.
What was his name? Come on,
Greg McElroy.
Oh, Greg McElroy, he can buzz off. My favorite thing about Greg McElroy is after Tennessee wins the national championship, he's the one going, "Oh yeah, he's not like Saban." And then they hired Kalen DeBoer to lose to Vanderbilt in Tennessee. Congratulations, Alabama. Huh?
Oh man,
I do, Jeff. I have to give you some credit, buddy. You picked Tennessee. You picked Tennessee last week to beat Alabama. I mean, you were all over it.
I did. I mean, I didn't want to do it, but I was like, Alabama's just not doing good enough for me to be like, they're going to go in Neyland, and that environment is, even with Tennessee struggling, I just feel like both teams struggling, the home team's going to get it done. So, I mean, I was one of the only Alabama fans that picked Tennessee. I was one of the only ones. So
I know.
I appreciate it. It hurt, but
I know you are, and that's why I'm not sitting here going, screw you or anything like that. You guys are good dudes. You guys are good dudes.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Well, Jackson, I'm a little bit iffy on you at this moment, but other than that, it's cool.
It's okay.
No. So let me tell you about cornhole first. Because I told you about my league last week, right? It wasn't great. It was not great. We won the first game. We lost the second because my partner was a dumbass. Then we won the third. And I was like, I picked up the board and slammed it. And I was like, come on, we're going to win this. And we lost the next game. Just because of my partner, so don't blame me. Anywho, so I had Saban Lover as my name last week, and I truly love that man. Because he retired at a great time, and all I know is who's the play-by-play guy that said that Tennessee's pumping noise through their speakers? Who is it? What's his name?
Greg McElroy.
No. I'm talking about the guy. Yeah, I'm talking about the guy who does the Alabama radio, the main guy.
Oh, Chris Stewart,
yeah. Chris Stewart, he's the one, right when Will Brooks, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but he's an Alabama native. When Will Brooks intercepted that ball to end the game, because Jalen Milroe is terrible. It's embarrassing that Tennessee's lost to him 2 years ago. It's unbelievable. Thank God we beat him by fucking 7 points or whatever the hell it was. But it's just so funny. It's just so funny hearing him say, "Oh, they're pumping noise through the speakers here." I've been to Bryant-Denny. I've been to Neyland Stadium. I've seen a hell of a lot of good games there. It's pretty loud. It wasn't anywhere near as loud as Neyland Stadium was on Saturday, boys. That's all I can say.
I mean, Neyland is a fantastic environment. It probably ranks over Bryant-Denny in most people's rankings. I mean, Bryant-Denny's great too, but I don't think it's consistently great. I feel like Neyland is louder and more frequently, for more games versus Bryant-Denny can be a little sparse. Kind of like basketball. You take ones like Kansas, Fog Allen, or Indiana, they're elite all the time, whereas like North Carolina is only great when Duke's there. So it's not consistent, right? So I feel like Bama's not as consistent as Tennessee is with being, a great atmosphere.
Okay, all right, that's reasonable. I will, take that and understand it. I will also say that you're wrong, Jeffrey. No, it was good, and like I said, as a Saban lover, as an absolute the biggest Saban lover, I'm just so glad he retired. He did the greatest thing for the SEC, which is allowing the number one team to continue to rise. And their name is the Tennessee Volunteers. You guys are quiet. Say something.
Well,
I do have to ask you though.
Well, you are the caller.
Tennessee.
Go ahead.
Are you confident? Are you confident with Tennessee against Georgia?
Yeah,
Are you
I
confident?
I am. I really am. I faked confidence in 2022. And then, Jeremy Banks intercepted that ball over the middle, and I was like, holy shit, we might do this. And then we screwed up ever since then. But no, I'm feeling pretty confident, mainly because I think Nico finally has it figured out. If you guys are wondering, yes, I'm driving. I'm leaving Cornhole. Yeah, no, I was not confident in 2022. I pretended to be. I started drinking beer at 8 a.m. that morning, and stopped at 2 a.m. that night or whatever it was. But no, I truly feel confident. I mean, you guys saw it. Tell me right now, Tennessee does not have an elite defense. Tell it to me. Scream it in my face, and I'll tell you you're wrong.
I think more of the issue for Tennessee right now is the offense. The defense is good. The offense definitely needs work, but I think it can get a lot better if Nico can continue to improve. And they can get healthy.
Yeah, you got to get healthy, right? What do you think they need to get healthy at, though? What do you think we need to get healthy at?
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
O-line.
Tell you the truth, though, about Josh, I just don't get it, man. Put the 5-star freshman in. What are you doing? Why are you letting squirrel around out there, eh?
I guess he wants to give the veteran his time, but, I mean, he hasn't been great.
Yeah, I know. But the wide receivers are fine if they would put in the ones that actually wanted to play. That's the sickening part about Josh Heupel. It's like, oh my gosh, here we are. We have a great quarterback who I think it took some time, and finally a hit to the dome, a concussion, one of the few that he will definitely not have in his pro career, or anything like that. It's like, what are you doing? Just let the boys play. Let them play. And to tell you the truth, I'm not calling here and talk shit because I like you guys. You guys are super cool. Let's talk about Alabama. What is the jump shot? What is the jump shot thing?
That is
dumb. My God.
Ron Williams, he's so young. He's young and not smart right now.
No. But I get it, right? It's kids. It's kids.
Yeah.
It's kids. I don't know if you guys are 18 yet or not. Jeffrey, you seem pretty young. So I'm not sure if you've ever.
I turned 27 a few weeks ago. Jeffrey is a few months
older than 18.
Drinking age.
All right, so Jeffrey's 19. Okay, so we'll
20.
continue on there. Oh, okay. All right, I was 2 years off. I get it, and who was it? It was that dumbass AJ McCarron, and the only reason he ever won a game against Tennessee was because Mount Cody came on top of him there to help him, and who knows? That's funny to think back on, by the way. Think about that. If Mount Cody doesn't block that kick, if Lane Kiffin is beats the number one team in the country at Tennessee his first year, where are we in college football at this point? I'll tell you one thing. Lane Kiffin's probably a pretty damn good coach. He's not now. He's at Ole Miss. There's nothing going on there.
Yeah, that's why they lost Judkins to Ohio State. I mean,
you're damn right, Jeffrey. You're damn right.
They're a really good program now, but I just don't know if they have the tools to ever be elite. I don't think it's possible.
But, buddy, I don't even think they're a very good team right now. I think they're an average team. I mean, Mississippi State, awful, terrible team. They are improving, though. They're improving this season.
If they beat Arkansas this Saturday, Sam Pittman's really back on the hot seat.
Yeah, that's true. I will say this about Arkansas. Very good team. Very good team. If you lose to them, you should not feel bad about it whatsoever. I mean, I'm not worried about that. But if your team supposedly lost to them, that would be it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and we'll get to a comment. Liam O'Hara is officially a YouTube member for Alabama, the voice of college football. A Christian faithful one at that, as a matter of fact.
Appreciate it, Liam.
And with those benefits, you will have a loyalty badge next to your name and a custom emoji to use in the comments or in the live chat. And you get member shout outs from yours truly and Only Talk Sports and Johnny Burtz, who is here on Monday afternoons at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and on the post-game show as well.
What was his name?
Johnny Burtz.
Johnny Burtz, you're the man, buddy. We love you. Thanks for calling in. I'm taking a left. I don't even know where I'm going.
Liam O'Hara, thank you for becoming a YouTube member at Alabama Voice College Football.
Kiffin for Bama.
I was worried we were going to go that route. I'm not going to lie. I was worried we'd go that.
I thought Mike Norvell was going to be the guy.
Oh, God. That would be disastrous.
I thought Mike Norvell was going to be the guy. So I think Bama dodged a bullet there.
Because I was worried for a little bit. You know, at the time Saber retired, I was thinking.
I love that guy.
Yeah. I was worried that we would be trying to repeat what we were doing in the 80s, where we were clearly trying to bring back the Bear Bryant era by getting Bear Bryant assistants or former players. I was worried we were going to be doing that with Saban, but
it'd have been terrible if they had gone with Mike Loxley. That'd have just been a disaster. I can't believe he was a candidate.
Yeah, I mean that guy's was a disaster at New Mexico, and what really helped him was his ties at Maryland and his ties to Coach Saban. Because I mean, if he was anybody else, if he didn't have ties to Coach Saban, he wouldn't have gotten hired. Why? His 3-33 record at New Mexico really hurt him.
What with Malzahn for Bama? No.
I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
What? That is a horrible thing.
Malzahn. Could you imagine?
What do we do?
Boy. Not only was he was at Auburn, he's not even winning anymore.
I was about to say Auburn fans kicked him to the curb a year after he won the national championship.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I just ran over a curb. Don't worry.
You all right, man?
Yeah, I'm good, brother.
Oh, there you go.
Always have been. So here's the real question. So, my favorite thing, what was that dumbass? The radio guy that is for Alabama. What's his name?
Chris Stewart.
The one who was saying, "Oh, Tennessee's piping in crowd noise."
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
What was he? What was his name? Chris Stewart? Is that his name? Okay, that's fine. So Tennessee's guy is Bob Kessling, and let me tell you, boys, I'd trade him in a heartbeat. Not because that he defends his school, but more importantly, Bob Kessling is terrible at what he does. So I will happily switch. But it's just embarrassing. Come on. I never expected these Alabama fans, and you guys are included in this, and I'm not trying to be mean. I really am not. But after 7 games post Saban, it's like, oh, well, this is the end of the world. This is the end of the world as we know it. The other teams are they're cheating. The other teams are cheating. After how many national championships did Nick Saban win?
6 at Alabama, 1 at LSU, which equals 7.
Yeah, I don't care about the one at LSU, but I just want to say that. Are you out of your minds? Is that guy a serious person? Going, oh, Tennessee, oh yeah, we lost because they're pumping in crowd noises. Oh my God, that's crazy. Well, hey, Jeffrey, Jackson, I love you too. I'm gonna let you guys go. Tennessee 6-1. I'm telling you, what are we? How close are we to a CFP appearance?
It's gonna be. Let me see. So Halloween is next Thursday, November 1st.
Thank you, Mr. Calendar. Are you Big Ben as well?
November 5th will be the first rankings for the CFP.
All right, Big Ben.
I will say, as long as Tennessee does not lose more than one more game, like they can afford to lose to Georgia, but if they lose 2 more games, they're probably not making the playoffs. But if they only lose 1 more or win out, they're in. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's crazy? Did you guys? I'm sure you guys saw that same thing today that was going around social media. The 6-2 SEC situation.
Yeah, we saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
that would be insane.
That would be awful, wouldn't it? Well, hey, boys, I'm glad you guys stayed open, for me. I hope you guys are the best. I'll call in. I'll continue to call in, especially. Who's Alabama play this week? Oh, no, they're off this week.
Missouri. No, we play Missouri. Next week we're off. We're
you know what? You know what's crazy? I hope you guys beat Missouri. I hate Eli Dorkowitz, that moron.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
My dad's family's from the Missouri area, and I hope they all are miserable during this week. I hope. What do I say? What do I say? Roll Tide or something like that.
Roll Tide.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. I've only got one more thing I have to say, and that's the song that I'm gonna be listening to when I go to bed. Do you guys know what it is?
No.
Rolling down a backwoods Tennessee byway.
There we go.
One arm on the wheel. Dixieland Delight is a song about Tennessee boys. I love you both, but I hate you both. Good night, Devils.
Good night, Matt.
Man, this guy is hilarious, man. It's like we hope he calls in.
I love it. And we do appreciate all you guys for calling in tonight, and Liam for becoming a member. Definitely appreciate it. You guys are not going to regret becoming a member at Alabama, the voice of college football. You're going to love it if you guys do join. But appreciate it, Liam. Absolutely. And, man, that was a great way to end the show, man. That was a great way to end the show. We got even a Tennessee fan rooting for Bama. That is awesome. We got a Tennessee fan rooting for Bama. Hopefully Bama wins big, man.
Oh, for sure. And with that being said, we wish y'all a good night and sleep well. Stay safe. Stay warm. It's cold out. And now we have a presentation from our friend Mark Rogers.
College football is even more exciting with some action on the line. And the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the voice of college football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Let's start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread. I've got a 40-year track record. In fact, in 2023, at $100 played per game, you would have netted over $9,300. And guess what? I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill, our ace in the hole, show stopper from Wager Talk. 6 years with the voice of college football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick, which went 21-5 against the spread the last 2 seasons. I repeat, 21-5 against the spread. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Steve Dace and Matt Zemek. Become a YouTube channel member or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2024 a winner now.